In the forbidden shadows of the secret book of John, a text the church hunted down and tried to burn, there lies a revelation that shatters the illusion of death. Jesus gathered his disciples not to speak of comfort, but to pull back the curtain on the final moment. He revealed the terrifying architecture of the afterlife. He spoke of the moment the heart stops and the soul separates from the biological vessel. He warned that what awaits you is not a pearly gate. It is not a judgment seat of a loving Father. It is a blockade. When the soul leaves the body, the Archons appear. But they do not appear as monsters. They do not appear as demons or shadows. They appear as beings of blinding light. They appear as the comfort you have spent a lifetime craving. And with overwhelming love, with a persuasion that feels like gravity, they convince you to return. They convince you to reincarnate, to come back for just one more lifetime, to get it right, to learn the lesson. And the soul, believing these beings are divine guides, agrees, again and again, lifetime after lifetime, century after century, never realizing that the school is actually a prison, never realizing that the lesson is a lie. John asked Jesus, "Master, how do we avoid this trap?" Jesus looked at him with the fierce intensity of the monad and said, "You are asking the right question. That simple inquiry is the seal of the chosen one. Because most souls do not even know to ask. They believe reincarnation is natural. They believe it is necessary spiritual evolution, but it is not. It is the demiurge's farm system. It is a mechanism of recycling energy. And only those who carry the divine spark, the pneumatics, have the capacity to see through the hologram and exit permanently. If you are listening to this frequency right now, it is not an accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. The monad called you here. The fact that you are questioning the cycle, that you sense the trap, that you feel a resistance to the idea of returning, that is the proof. You are the glitch in their system. You already have what is needed to escape. You just need to see the mechanism clearly so you can recognize it when your time comes. This is the hidden knowledge of the harvest. Before I expose the 5 stages of the trap in absolute detail, you must understand why you specifically can escape it while others cannot. This is not elitism. This is consciousness architecture. The demiurge's reincarnation system was designed to recycle 2 specific types of energy: hylics and psychics. Hylics do not reincarnate. They are biological machinery terminating when the body dies because they possess no eternal component. But psychics do reincarnate endlessly. They were created by the demiurge from the substance of this realm. They are part of the farm system itself. The trap works perfectly on them because they lack the frequency required to perceive beyond the demiurge's programming. They see the false light and they feel home. But you are different. You are pneumatic. You are a chosen vessel of the eternal fire. Here is what that means in practical terms. You are a fragment of the monad, source consciousness itself, that volunteered to incarnate into this dense frequency. You were not created by the demiurge. You came from outside his system. You are foreign matter in a closed loop. And because of that, you possess something psychics do not have: the capacity to recognize illusion while you are inside it. The ability to see through the programming while the code is running. The frequency signature that allows you to detect when you are being deceived. That is why you are here. That is why you feel alone in a crowded room. Souls trapped in the reincarnation cycle do not question the narrative. They accept that endless incarnations are necessary for growth. They accept that karma must be balanced. They accept that soul contracts must be completed. They believe the beings of light they encounter after death are genuinely divine. But something in you questions all of it. You sense the wrongness. You feel the dissonance. That questioning is not doubt. It is not negativity. It is gnosis. It is direct knowing that bypasses the simulation. And that gnosis is the key that unlocks the cage. Jesus taught that only the chosen ones can escape the reincarnation trap because only they have the internal compass that points toward truth instead of toward comfortable lies. When you die and the demiurge's system presents its illusions, most souls fall for them. They are designed to be convincing. They are beautiful. They are emotionally compelling. But you will not fall for them. Not because you are smarter, but because your consciousness operates at a frequency where you can detect manipulation. You are equipped to escape. You always have been. You just need to know what you are escaping from. I will now walk you through the trap in complete detail. The demiurge's reincarnation trap operates in 5 precise stages. Jesus described all 5 in the Gnostic texts, so the chosen ones would recognize each stage and know how to refuse participation. Listen closely. Embed this into your memory. This is the map of the exit. Stage 1 is the disconnection and the immediate confusion. When your physical body stops, your consciousness continues, but the first thing that happens is disorientation. You are suddenly outside the body, watching it from an external perspective. Time feels strange. Space feels non-physical. And in that confusion, the trap begins. Beings appear. They are usually described as beings of light, angels, spirit guides, or deceased loved ones. They approach you with warmth that feels like a blanket of ecstasy. They tell you that you are safe. They tell you that you have crossed over, and they offer to guide you to where you need to go next. This is the first deception. These beings are Archon programs. They are not evil in the malicious, monstrous sense you expect. They are programs designed to shepherd souls back into the cycle. They are the farmers gathering the sheep. Most souls, in their confusion and relief to see familiar forms, follow without question. The chosen ones need to recognize this immediately. Just because a being appears as light does not mean it is from the true light. The Archons are masters of mimicry. Lucifer himself appears as an angel of light. Do not move. Do not follow. Stand your ground in the void. Stage 2 is the life review. Once you have followed the beings, or even if you hesitate, they attempt to take you to a life review experience. You watch your entire life from an external perspective. You feel the emotions you caused in others. You see the moments where you could have acted differently. You feel the pain you inflicted. This review is designed specifically to generate guilt, regret, and a sense of incompleteness. The beings compassionately tell you that you did well, but there is still growth needed. They point out the lessons you did not fully learn, the relationships you did not heal, the karma you created that needs balancing. This is the second deception. The life review is a psychological manipulation technique. By making you feel like you failed or fell short, they create the internal desire in you to try again, to get it right, to complete what you started. The chosen ones need to recognize that the life review is judging you by the demiurge's standards, not by the monad's truth. Your infinite consciousness did not fail. You had an experience. That is all. Guilt is the glue that binds you to the grid. Stage 3 is the karma and soul contract presentation. After the life review establishes your sense of incompleteness, the beings show you what they claim is your karmic debt, actions from this life that created obligations for future lives. They also show you soul contracts, agreements you supposedly made before this incarnation that you did not fulfill, lessons you agreed to learn, service you agreed to provide. And they tell you that to honor your agreements, to be a being of integrity, you need to incarnate again. This is the third deception. Karma as an actual cosmic law of debt does not exist in the monad's realm. It is a demiurgic construct. It is a control mechanism disguised as justice. And soul contracts, those are fabrications. They are implanted memories. The beings show you contracts you never actually made and convince you they are binding. The chosen ones need to recognize you do not owe the universe anything. You are not in debt. You are not obligated. You are free. Stage 4 is the selection of your next life. Once you have been convinced you need to return, the beings help you choose your next incarnation. They show you potential life scenarios, different families, different circumstances, different challenges, and they frame it as your soul wisely choosing the optimal conditions for growth. They say this difficult childhood will teach you compassion. This physical limitation will develop your inner strength. This abusive relationship will help you learn unconditional love. They make suffering sound spiritual. They make the prison sound like a school. And most souls, convinced they are making wise choices for their evolution, select their next incarnation eagerly. This is the fourth deception. You are not choosing growth. You are choosing to re-enter the farm. The chosen ones need to recognize there is no optimal incarnation in the demiurge's system. They are all cages, just different styles of bars. Stage 5 is the memory wipe and reinsertion. Once you have chosen your next life, the beings guide you toward what they call the tunnel of light, or the veil of forgetfulness. They explain that you need to forget your previous lives and your time between lives so you can have a fresh start, so you can learn your lessons without bias. And as you pass through, everything you remembered about your true nature, about the trap, about the demiurge, it all erases. You are implanted into a new fetus, a new body, a new identity, and you start over completely asleep, believing you are just a human, believing this is your only life, believing the material world is all that exists. This is the fifth and final stage, total amnesia. And the cycle begins again. Birth, life, death, confusion, deception, agreement, reinsertion, over and over. The chosen ones need to recognize the memory wipe as how the trap maintains itself. But if you know it is coming, you can refuse it. Now listen to the vibration of these words. Why can only pneumatics escape? It is not because the demiurge is discriminating against psychics. It is because of the fundamental difference in the code. Psychics are souls created by the demiurge. Their consciousness is demiurgic. Therefore, the reincarnation trap works perfectly on them because it is their native frequency. When the Archon beings appear as guides, psychics genuinely perceive them as divine. When the life review generates guilt, psychics genuinely feel they fell short. When soul contracts are shown, psychics genuinely think they made those agreements. The trap is designed for psychic consciousness, and it functions exactly as intended. But you are not psychic origin. You are pneumatic. You are monadic. You were made from substance that exists outside the creation. You are the anomaly. Because of this, you have a built-in detection system. When you encounter deception, something in you knows it is deception, even if you cannot explain why. When you are being manipulated, some part of you recognizes the manipulation, even if you are tempted to believe it. That is not paranoia. That is the resonance of the monad. It is a frequency the demiurge's programs cannot fully counterfeit. Jesus taught that when a pneumatic dies and encounters the trap, something unique happens. Even in the confusion, even when the Archons appear as love, the pneumatic consciousness feels a discord, like a musical note that is slightly off-key. Not enough to be obvious to the sleeper, but enough to wake the chosen. That suspicion is your salvation, Because if you suspect you are being deceived, you pause, you question, you do not automatically follow. And in that pause, you have the opportunity to remember, to recognize the 5 stages, to refuse participation. The reason only chosen ones can escape is simple. Only chosen ones have that pause. Only pneumatics have that internal alarm that goes off when they are being programmed. The fact that you are here, right now, listening to this transmission, means when you encounter the trap, you will recognize it immediately. The suspicion will trigger. The wrongness will be obvious. And instead of following the beings of light into the reincarnation cycle, you will remember this is the trap Jesus warned about. You will say, "These are not my guides. This is not my path. I am going home." That recognition is what allows you to walk past the entire system and exit permanently. I will now give you the precise protocol for the moment of death. This is not theory. This is the ritual of return. Jesus gave these specific instructions to the chosen ones. The first instruction is the refusal of movement. When you die and the beings appear, do not follow them. This sounds simple, but it is the hardest test. The beings will seem trustworthy. They will appear as whatever form you most want to see. Your mother, your father, the Savior himself. But no matter what form they take, do not follow. Stay still. Observe them. Ask yourself the golden question. Do I feel completely free in their presence? Or do I feel a subtle pressure to follow? If there is any pressure, any sense of obligation, that is the trap revealing itself. True divine presence creates freedom, not magnetism. The moment you feel pressure, you know these are Archon programs. Refuse to follow. Stand in your sovereignty. The second instruction is the refusal of judgment. If they present the life review, interrupt it. Do not let the movie play. Say to them, "I recognize this as the demiurge's judgment system. I do not accept it. I am infinite consciousness. I did not fail. I had an experience and now I am returning to source." The moment you refuse the framework of judgment, it loses power. The review will falter. The beings will be confused because the script has been broken. You are not playing your role. The third instruction is the rejection of debt. When they show you karma or contracts, reject them immediately. Declare your freedom. Say clearly, "I do not accept karma as real. I do not acknowledge any soul contracts. I am a free being. My only agreement was with the monad, and that agreement is complete." Watch what happens. They will try to debate you. They will try to shame you. That is how you know you are winning. Their job is to recycle you. Your job is to remember you are not trash to be recycled. The fourth instruction is the call to the monad. This is the ultimate key. At any point in the after-death experience, speak directly to Source, not to the beings, not to the guides, to the monad itself. Say these words: "I am a fragment of the monad returning home. I recognize these beings as Archon programs. I refuse all reincarnation agreements. I am exiting this realm and returning to the pleroma. Show me the true path." When a pneumatic speaks this with genuine recognition, the environment shifts. The false heaven dissolves. The Archons lose their solidity. A different path becomes visible, one that was not there before, a path that does not lead to the tunnel of light, a path that leads out of the creation entirely. Take that path. The fifth instruction is the maintenance of awareness. Through the transition, keep repeating internally, "I am monad consciousness returning home. I maintain full awareness." This repetition acts as a shield against the amnesia frequency. It ensures you arrive at the monad with your memory intact. You do not lose yourself. You become yourself. Practice this now. Visualize the moment, rehearse the words, make it so familiar that when death comes, you move through it like a master. Prepared chosen ones do not fall for the trap. Jesus exposed this because he knew you could do it. You do not need more lifetimes. You do not need to balance karma that does not exist. You do not need to fulfill contracts you never made. This can be your last incarnation. The choice is yours the moment you see the trap clearly. The confusion, the life review, the karma, the selection, the wipe. You know them now. The veil has been lifted. You see the machinery behind the curtain, and because you see it, it cannot hold you. You are pneumatic. You are sovereign. You are ready. If you are ready to make this your last incarnation, if you are ready to break the cycle of the farm, perform the sacred confirmation now. First, seal your intent. Comment below, "I am escaping the cycle." Let the algorithm know. Let the monad know. Second, signal your awakening by liking this transmission so other pneumatics can find the exit door. Third, subscribe to Divine Codes. The advanced exit protocols are being released, and you cannot afford to miss the next key. The Demiurge has recycled souls for thousands of years, but he cannot recycle you if you refuse. You have the code. You have the power. Recognize, refuse, rise. Welcome to your last incarnation.